Let's be honest, when it comes to golf clubs, the industry is dominated by a select few big mega brands, as we're going to call them. So then that way, a lot of clubs are getting overlooked now. A lot of clubs that are coming out that are actually fantastic clubs. So this year, Wilson are actually getting some really good publicity and some good press about the drivers that they've released. But there is also the 3-wood and the hybrids that go alongside it as well. So good, felt great. Very much like the Wilson drivers, the fairway woods and the 3-woods have both incorporated AI technology for this year's release. So what the AI does is finds the perfect thickness for the face across the club, creating in high ball speeds and forgiveness across the whole thing. And both the fairway wood and the hybrid are designed to be for giving high MOI clubs. So we're getting the weight position towards the back, which is generating then a high flight, but just giving loads and loads of forgiveness. We've seen a release with 2 drivers this year. There is the titanium and the carbon. The carbon being the more low spinning version of those clubs, the titanium being the little bit more forgiving, the higher MOI. When it comes to the looks of them, I think they look great this year as well. They've gone really slick, more subtle, if you like, compared to some of their previous. They almost remind me a little bit of the TaylorMade M6 with the little flash of red around the back and things. And even into the fairway woods and the hybrids, maintaining that same slit look with the black and the red, I think they look absolutely great. And they sound amazing as well. Such a good noise. So when it comes to the carbon version, you will see that the weight is actually positioned very much towards the back. But the carbon and the way that they've designed it is actually keeping the center of gravity quite low and towards the front, which is then creating this low spin driver. Then it does have a 6-way adjustment within the hosel, which then the fitters can then sort of adjust it to give a bit more spin, a bit more launch if that is required. But I really did see the difference between the carbon and the titanium in the way of the launch and everything, and you could see that it was a lot more spinny, just even from the ball flight and the way that it was descending. But it did, in the titanium, offer a lot more forgiveness in the sense that I was hitting some off the toe, and whether it be that it's just a lot more forgiving or whether the AI technology is genuinely doing its job, I didn't see a big drop off within the ball speeds. At the top tracer, I was still getting mid to high 50 ball speed when I was hitting them quite far off the toe, which you can literally see now how far off the toe I was hitting it. So I've been hitting a few up here at top tracer and been also looking at the distances as well, which we're using range balls and everything, but I've got used to the balls here and like how far the distances are. And these have been performing just as good as any driver that I've hit. When it comes to the price, it is a little bit more elevated from what we're used to seeing from Wilson, but they are still undercutting all of the other brands, some of them by quite a bit. And I can understand that they're a little bit more than we're used to from Wilson this year because a lot of work has been put into these drivers and it really does show. It is a club that I really would say to everybody, you must try this. Like, put this in with the other brands if you're being fitted, because it seriously is a contender against the rest of them. I think for me, of the two, the carbon has been the favourite. I think it sounds great. I think it looks great, but it was just given that more penetrating flight as it is, like I say, the slightly lower spinning version. But I think for me, out of the two, that's the one I would pick. But I genuinely believe within these drivers, there is definitely something that everybody should give a go. 100%.